everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? This is episode 8 of FX Fridays. If you haven't seen episodes 1 through 7, definitely go back on my page, like, comment, share. Tell me what you think about what I've been providing so far in terms of the value and the content. I've been really trying to pour into these videos. So on today's episode, I did want to speak more so about fundamental analysis. I wanted to make this episode dedicated to fundamental analysis. First things first, I wanted to start off by saying, for anyone that, does work outside or has to, go outside on a consistent basis, just make sure that you're doing the best you can to really make sure that, your station that you work at is very clean, or, anywhere that you interact, you're making sure that you're always, washing your hands, so on and so forth. I do know that, the coronavirus has been spreading a lot lately, and, there's a lot of, cases going unreported within our area, and it's actually kind of ironic because the subject of today's topic is fundamental analysis, right? So a very basic way of saying fundamental analysis in trader speak is news, right? So news dictates exactly a lot of the volatility in the foreign exchange market, right? A lot of the moves that happen in the foreign exchange market tends to happen in response to a news event. So oftentimes you might see a forex trader tweet like, Trump's about to say something, or I love when Trump tweets, or something like that. And, it may not be reflective of the views of Donald Trump of himself as a person, but, when he does speak, a lot of things do happen in terms of volatility in the market. So today I did actually want to focus on, a particular trade that I took in my, live account. And it was on U.S. oil, right? So really quickly, before I actually show you the trade setup and how I went about taking the trade, I did want to provide a little bit of sauce, right? So in times of volatility, it's better to trade on higher time frames. Reason being that higher time frame levels become even more important, right? Now, the significance of a lower level time frame period or point, it may not have that same significance due to the volatility, right? So just think about it in a logical perspective, right? So say, for instance, you were looking for price to reach or touch a certain level. Now, if the market is moving very, very quickly, chances are it's moving to a bigger level than a smaller level, right? Something is more likely to stop if it hits a bigger object than a small object, right? If a car hits a truck, the car is going to probably get crumpled up. Now, if the car hits a ball, the ball might, deflate or go flying like hundreds of feet in the air, right? So it's kind of that same premise, right? So these smaller levels, they don't have the same amount of value that they might have had in a less volatile market, right? So now, we're looking to target like very higher time frame levels. So we're talking about the daily, the weekly, even the monthly, and a lot of these higher time frame points offer that traditional support and resistance that we're looking for price to go ahead and target in the market. These our regular 4-hour, 1 hour, 15-minute time frames. These are just for us to really keep track of the overall movement of the trade, because on the higher time frames now, like, these are the levels that are holding more value, or they're holding still, for lack of a better term, as opposed to the smaller time frames, being that the trades are moving so fast at this point in time, right? So I wanted to actually show you a trade setup that I took on U.S. oil. I actually took a buy, and I wanted to really kind of give you a little bit of insight as to why I took the setup, the fundamental analysis behind the whole setup, and a couple of more examples of just fundamental analysis and how it could be provided in our trading and how we can use it to overall become profitable. Okay, so here's a chart of U.S. oil. It's on the hourly time frame. For those of you that may not be aware, this is considered to be a gap in price, right? So this is the trading that has been left off from Friday's session to Sunday's session, right? So essentially, there was news or fundamental analysis about the drop in the prices of oil, simply because there's actually a sell-off in crude due to a deal that was failed to be created by OPEC, right? So essentially, the prices of oil have been slashed, and this is actually 24% loss on the oil prices for the worst day since 1991, right? So in about, I'd say 30 years, this is the worst thing that's happened to, the value of these oil prices, right? So in addition to, this overall drop, the actual influx of the fear of the coronavirus, or the actual coronavirus, it creates a sense of insecurity as to, people not wanting to really travel, move a lot, so on and so forth, right? So a lot of people tend to, want to stay put in times in the midst of uncertainty, right? So, certain things like basic travel, like flights, if you're someone that avidly likes to, go on vacation, you could find a flight for very, very cheap right about now, right? So being that that's the case, these planes and whatnot, they're using oil, or they're using these, crude oil to travel, right? So at that point in time, being that these things are in less demand, being that's times of peril per se, then these prices are going to drop, right? So that's our fundamental standpoint behind it, right? So, with that being the case, we can expect oil to be bearish or selling, right? Now, me personally, I decided to take a buy on oil simply because I, marked up this level of 27.50. It traded down to this level, and I was looking for it to make a rejection, right? So why was I looking to do that? Just going back to, the analysis that I provided, on a higher time frame, I seen that, back in 2016, it got down to, right around this point, and, it started to make its rejection on the way up for this ascent, right? So being that it was doing this in the past, about 3 to 4 years ago, and it hasn't yet retested this level, I was looking for a price to come back over here and give us some sort of rejection off of this level, right? So now that we fast forward till today, this trade was able to, I think I got about 200 pips or 200 points off of this trade. So as soon as it hit this level, gave me minimal drawdown, and it was able to, accelerate and move on to the profit targets that I did end up setting on the trade, right? So, we can use this overall analysis to, really provide us with insight as to where the market is trying to go. Just to actually show you guys another example really quickly. I don't want the video to get too long, but show you an example really quickly. The other day, so this is still an hourly time frame. The other day, about 3 to 4 days ago, President Trump actually declared a travel ban on Europe, like flying for flights flying from Europe to the United States, with the exception of the United Kingdom. So, the fact that, Europe doesn't have the ability to, travel to the United States, it's a move that essentially somewhat weakens the value of the euro, right? The value of the euro. Now, the euro consists of, France, Italy, all these other countries. They chime into having the value on the euro per se, right? So if we're looking for the euro to be weaker in comparison to the dollar, we're looking for this to potentially sell, right? So now that, we're looking for, or we have our sights set on a potential sell, we can anticipate, prices trading lower. Now, with that being in mind, and, with, prior context of things that I spoke about in previous videos, we're looking to essentially get into these sells or these setups, around these peak sessions. So for example, this is 4 a.m., creates a high. We can enter in right here off the top of this candle. We wouldn't experience that much drawdown, and we can make our way down to this low, right? Which is also in conjunction with this previous level in price right over here, right? Makes a high, right again about 3 a.m., starts to trade lower, right? Makes a high right about 4 a.m., actually comes back about 8 a.m. and starts to trade lower, right? So we can actually use the higher time frame analysis on, the daily and up, and we can use that in conjunction with just the sessions, the timing, so on and so forth. and we can actually find pretty good setups in the market, right, during these times of volatility, right? So, I hope this video actually is a little bit longer than I expected, but I hope this video provided a lot of, clarity and insight in how we can use fundamental analysis alongside, just the things that we already are keen to in terms of, time and price correlation and, sessions and our own trading strategies that we happen to develop, right? So, with that being said, I definitely thank you guys for watching this video. If this provided any value or insight to you, definitely like, comment, share it. Hit me up. Let me know what you think about it. And let me know things that I can, possibly include in further videos. And, I look forward to speaking with you guys more and providing more value and content along the way. Thanks, guys.